show or whatever. Welcome to the Red Match Podcast, the automotive podcast where we finally started getting other people in the five of our faces to stare at for an hour and a half. On this episode, we have Bryce.
Yay.
Bryce has a now currently in construction, but was previously running 2017 Golf R 6-speed manual, which is sick.
Yes, sir.
You seem to like drag racing and autocross quite a bit, which is cool.
Oh yeah,
and
I do everything.
You do everything. That's what's up. And and he's just we wanted to get somebody else on the podcast that's like us. We're trying to grow a community of regular car dudes who are trying to create content on a regular car dude level and on a regular car dude budget. And I'm sure that'll come up at some point because I know you've been doing your own thing with that. So yeah, we just want to have you on. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks
right on. Oh yeah.
Kyle
Thanks for inviting me.
This
is awesome.
Yeah.
So okay, man. So
before we start this, because Kate already asked the question, whose Volkswagen's faster?
Ooh.
I want to know. I want to know.
And
he looks like he doesn't want to answer.
Kyle whoops all of our asses. Like, let's about it. Kyle whoops everybody.
We're slow.
Bryce, what are we talking about here, man? I mean, are you running Kyle or what?
I'm down to run anybody. I'll never take down a race.
This is me just like slowly.
All the STI owners in the group, just go ahead and do one of these.
Yeah.
Like,
all the slow boys just go fucking nice.
Just banish everyone back to the shadows.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, which one is faster though, for real? No punking out. I want to know. Give me that.
The fastest I've ever ran is 11.99 at 119 on the street. It's pretty
fucking
damn,
fast.
bro. That's respectable, B-dub.
No, but people on my turbo setup, well, the DSG cars at least, they're running like low 11s on that easily. I'm also at altitude too, so I'm at 4,200 feet.
Right.
So it takes a little juice out of the turbo, but
where do you live?
I'm in New Mexico. I'm like right on the border of Texas.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And I'm on what they call the high plains, and it's just flat and windy here.
Damn, people actually live in New Mexico?
Yeah, you don't want to be here.
I forgot that was a thing.
Right. There's like so many jokes I could make right now, but
I'm not from here though. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
I'm just stuck out here.
That's normal.
Yeah. See, that's more like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun fact about New Mexico: literally nobody's born in New Mexico. Ever. Nobody's
It's not a good place to be.
They're just passing through.
And the car breaks down, and next thing you know, you can't get the fuck out of there.
Exactly. If I wouldn't have got stationed here, I would have never came here ever.
Yeah,
like, ever.
See, and I would be concerned about losing our New Mexican audience, except there isn't one.
There is not. Yeah.
You're it.
That's it. Yeah, we got one guy, and he's on the show, so it's all.
And he's on the show. He's on the show. Right?
Yeah, baby.
Well, you guys do watch drifting and stuff though. You've heard of Officer Dan?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
He's in New Mexico. He's up in Albuquerque.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Damn, he was my officer that pulled me over in high school.
Don't start with the Tony Hawk joke, bro. Get out of here. Okay, we get it. You skate. It's all good. Like,
oh no, I meant pull me over like at school for like speeding.
It sounds like Tim.
You had a car in high school? That's cool.
When I was 16 or 17.
Dang, I didn't get my first car until I was 18.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie.
It wasn't mine. It wasn't mine.
I was spoiled. I was spoiled, man. I got to drive my mom's brand new Toyota Avalon. Like,
dang.
That is spoiled. That is super spoiled.
And then I like downgraded to my 95 Honda Accord, and I was like, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, bro, hey, like old Avalons, those things are
upgrade. I mean,
2-door. I mean, I did own the Honda, so that was an upgrade.
I mean, I guess I would have rolled the Avalon. I would have thrown some rims on that thing.
Yeah, Avalon.
So, we'll get back right first real quick. But the Avalon was.
Oh my god! You're gonna do an Avalon segment? Oh my
god! No, it was the car I learned to drive in, and like legit, I would rock the shit out of a Toyota Avalon. Dude, the XCL, like
yeah. Yeah.
Hot
What?
take. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first, guys. You want
Those new
to have
Corollas, though. Those Corolla hatchbacks. Those things are
Dude,
actually
dude.
yo,
dope.
my brother-in-law just bought one. I just talked to my
Yes.
brother-in-law.
They're clean.
Yeah, they are.
I got a picture of one on base.
It's the Scion IM, and when Scion died, they called it a Corolla
yeah.
Sport.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and now
I
they're
sold
like
two of them
100.
when I worked at Subaru.
Okay,
You
I
can
got a
get them
question.
with a manual and stuff.
Did they kill off Scion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
That was
didn't
dead.
like
know
3
that.
years ago. Or no,
shit, I
that
don't
was like a
know.
year ago, 2 years ago.
No, dude, that was that was a minute ago.
Was I
That
right? Like 3 years
4 or
ago?
5 years ago. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
not bad.
That's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
That's not
not
bad.
I'm pretty
Now
sure it's a chick that drives it too. It's nice.
That's
Okay.
cool. Yeah, my boy, one of my well, not even my boy, this dude I went to high school with, who I'm still like Instagram friends with, he has one and he's had it for a minute, and it's on like, I think he's on KWs with like T37s on it and all types of shit. Yeah, he's
What?
like,
A Corolla?
My bad.
it's more money than I would have thought to throw at a Corolla, but like, it's a nice Corolla. Like, yeah, like I don't know what to say.
Wow.
It's fucking, it's got $4,000 rims on a fucking Toyota Corolla, but whatever.
Jesus.
You do you, boo boo. They're not $4,000, they're like $3,000, but still.
Yeah,
It's
don't
more
lie.
money.
close,
Yeah.
close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Close. All right, so, bro, though, back to Bryce. Tell us about the car.
Oh,
What do
boy.
you know about the car?
Yeah.
Wait,
Well-
answer the question first.
oh,
The
man.
question was never answered. Who's faster?
Oh yeah.
What's the application?
if you okay,
Oh,
if
well,
you
let
line
me
them
ask
up,
you. Let me
if you
let me
line 'em up-
respond. Wait up.
if you line 'em
If
up-
you have to ask that question, if you have to ask that question, you're driving the slower car.
all right.
Oh.
I can see that. As Kyle chugs his beer, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find you, Alex.
You know where I live.
hey, we already have video proof of you gapping him, so I mean, it's already
Yeah, we have
documented.
the
Documented.
Yeah. Fucking bullshit ass motherfuckers.
All right, so
I
we
mean,
know Kyle will lose, but I still want to know about this car.
Mhm.
Rice.
It's a
Where
car.
we at?
It's a golf.
Oh, listen, no, listen.
It
You
is a golf.
can't like drag car me and be like, oh, it's a stock GTI.
Yeah.
You can't. No, like, you gotta.
I can't trick nobody. No, I put it all on the internet. I can't.
Yeah,
lie to
There's
nobody
like
about that.
14 people
fucked
that
up.
watch this, and I doubt they live in New Mexico. So just fucking.
Wow. Oh no, there really is no secret. So like it's a,
Yeah.
I'm working on getting pretty much the whole rear end now is tubular. There's no rubber bushings going to be left in the car besides the sway bar bushings. I got a carbon hatch on the way. Going to get Lexan for that.
Jesus.
Transmissions currently at Force Fed Engineering in New York, getting built, doing 3 to 6 dog gears, supports, wave track LSD, what did I say, shift forks, supports. Yeah, basically a full built. It's actually a diesel trans out of a 2012 Jetta.
Wait, what?
So the gears are going to be like
GTI
super
diesel
long.
trans?
Yeah.
Super, yeah, it's going to be a built diesel trans in the car with LSD, and then the motor. There's nothing wrong with the motor, but I blew a big old hole in the trans. If you guys saw the shot
I
that
saw
video,
that.
Yeah.
All that.
yeah, rough, dude. I'm telling you, and that alone is a story in itself. I almost died. I literally almost died. Like the whole car locked up on all 4 wheels locked up on the highway.
Oh.
While I was like in the middle of passing a semi with a dually on my ass at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm 6.5 hours away from home. Dude, it was like one of the longest days of my life. It sucked.
That's terrible.
It was bad. Like, it was real bad.
Oh, it just
I like
punched
clutched
itself
in.
shut, or
Yeah, the differential failed, and one of the spider gears like spun off, and then it caught another gear and just locked the whole trans up. There's marks on the like tire marks on the highway, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy as shit. Like, I thought because everyone talks about crank walk. I thought it was crank. I thought my motor just exploded and gave out.
Right.
But like the car like locked up, and I clutched in, and the motor died, and no power steering, no power brakes. And I'm like almost halfway in front of a semi, and I had to jerk the wheel to the left, and the semi is like on my he came up right up on my ass, and I couldn't give it power or nothing. So I jerked it over into like the left, median or whatever you want to call it, which is basically just rock. And I was sitting there, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. Sun's barely coming up, and the sun's coming up from behind me, and it's just like semis like blowing by my door because I was barely off the side of the road because it was all like dirt and like it was kind of like like a runoff. I didn't want the car to be all like sideways on the side of the road. It was wild. I sat there for probably 2 hours until a police officer. I had 3 different cops drive by on the opposite side of the highway, like break their neck, looking at me, and I'm like, Okay, yeah, someone help.
You're like,
And finally, yeah.
yeah.
Right? The one time you want a cop to pull over, they just look at you like, "Oh, that guy's good." Like, yeah, I'm just
Oh, he's
chilling
got it.
on the left
Yeah.
side of the
Fine.
highway. Right?
You got
they
it.
totally rolled by and went, I ain't got time for this shit. And then-
Yeah,
My
I'm like-
shift
Figure it
ends
out.
in 20 minutes. I ain't dealing with this shit. No, fuck
right.
I ain't doing
And
all
the
the
thing
fucking
is, like,
paperwork
I
for this
was-
bullshit.
I had just crossed the border into Arizona, so I'm like, I don't know where I am. There's no like real towns near me. It's all desert.
Oh.
And then I get a hold of insurance to get a tow. Well, actually, a cop came, towed me to the other side of the highway. And I had to wait. It was like 2 hours for a tow because my insurance people told the tow truck driver that was 100 exits down the other way. I was at like exit 19, and they told him 119.
Oh.
So the
Jesus.
dude's like at exit 119 calling me. He's like, "Where are you?" You know, blah blah. I'm like, "I'm the only Volkswagen within probably 100 miles of this place. Like, you can't miss me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well,
Jesus
send me your
Christ.
location. I'll give you my number. You know, text me your location." And then he called me back. He's like, "Dude, you're 100 miles the opposite direction." I was like, they fucking fat fingered, 117 or
Yeah.
119, whatever.
That's
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah, and then by 9 o'clock in the morning, it's like 98 degrees. I can't turn my car on really to run the AC or nothing. It was terrible. Then he took me like 30 minutes up the road to the next town, and I had to have my roommate grab my truck and a trailer and drive 5.5 hours to where I was, and then drive home. Dude, it was terrible. It was like one of the worst days of my life.
Jeez.
Dude, no way, bro.
So, if just word of advice, this is like a really great story for everybody who like might think about like daily driving a race car.
Yeah.
This is the shit you sign up
Bad
for.
idea.
No, it's not. It's not a
It was
bad
great.
idea
It was at
necessarily.
80,000 miles. At that point,
Yeah.
I thought I was like unbreakable. It was like,
Yeah,
and for me to
you've
not
gone
even
so
be
far.
racing when it happened.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
that's how it
cruising on the
goes,
highway.
right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
like,
true.
this
That's
is like
true.
that. You do sign up for shit like that when you're like, I'm just gonna roll my daily. Like, I'm just gonna fucking roll my daily.
Yeah.
Like,
I did it all the time, dude.
Oh,
took it to
I do
Houston
it now.
multiple
Like,
times, Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
California last year. Right, it was like a couple months after I installed the bigger turbo. I was like, all right, 19-hour trip to California, let's go. I went there, raced all weekend, drove back. Dude, it was great.
That's
So
fucking
like
sick.
just going
I
to
love it.
Arizona, that's like nothing. That's like 9
Yeah.
hours. Psh.
Dude, I'm all
Just-
worried though because the thing just hit
Well, and
80,000
what's
like the
jacked
other day.
up
I'm
is,
like,
like, it was nothing that you modified, right? It was nothing that you like touched that broke
No,
your car. Like that's the fucked up part about all of it, right? Like it's nothing you did to the car. It's just a failed.
Well,
car.
I mean, it is something he did to the
Well, where
he's
over
got
the
a
No, cars
point.
are
He's
meant
got a point.
Yeah.
to do that.
did he know?
It's
Dude, you
lagging.
could put, I mean, if he's gonna beat Kyle, how much power you put through that car?
We lost
Oh, Kyle's gone.
Oh, Kyle's gone.
Kyle.
Kyle's
Right when you talk to
Like Kyle,
I know.
Kyle said he's doing like what 400.
He's 460 to the wheel.
460.
460 wheels.
Yeah, I was
And-
right about the same spot.
If Bryce
You
is
were?
gonna,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Well,
that's crazy.
it's a thing of, first of all, Timmy's video is frozen. 2, we lost Kyle, which is great.
I'm
3,
frozen again.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're
Kinda
frozen.
You're always frozen, bro.
Oh.
At $400.
It's always in the best possible like frames too. You're like this.
Yeah,
Is you can't stoke it.
Oh look,
Um,
bro.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what happened.
Or like mid shot. There's like a shot of you like mid shot. You're like this, and you're just frozen.
Just like this. Just
That's not a bad one. That's not a.
Should I get the bong?
I mean,
I mean,
who gives a shit anymore, right?
you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, I think that like, if they're I didn't realize that Bryce was making the same power, but I mean, off a hit, like from a dig, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Bryce is gonna get the hit. Like he's got all-wheel drive. That's a huge fucking.
my
advantage.
best 60 is 171, I think is what it was. 171
pretty good.
60 foot.
Yeah, that's especially for growing your own and all that shit. Like that's super fucking impressive, right? So
Well, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
plan is to get a handbrake and be able to preload the
Fucking
suspension a
launch
little bit and be able to
Yeah.
launch a little bit harder.
That'd be sick.
Hopefully.
also donuts, but whatever.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Well, there's a group buy thing going on right now to do rear LSD for the Haldex unit, and that's going to be in like January or February. So I'll have LSD front and back, handbrake, like
Is that-
full tubular
that-
That's
suspension.
exciting.
that Haldex doesn't have a center diff, right? You have the front diff, and then there's like a viscous diff in the rear, right? And then when that
Right.
heats up enough, it locks the fluid or all that. Yeah, okay.
Well, it's all electronically controlled. The computer.
Oh,
just
is it
says,
all
hey,
electronic?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got clutches in there that it
Engages and
however it
disengages.
does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is cool because you get like front wheel drive manners around town. You get all wheel drive handling without
Yeah.
all the like drivetrain loss of center diffs, which is tight. So
And it's cool because like I don't have to I can get on a front wheel drive dyno whenever I want. I wired up a switch just to turn off the rear and my
that's dope.
my armrest.
No
So I lift up
way.
my armrest, I hit my switch, and then it's just front wheel drive. So I can
You-
go to the
you
track,
are-
do a front wheel drive burnout, turn my switch off, and then I'm back to all wheel drive. I could be on the
That's-
highway.
Wait,
I could do like
so
rolling burnouts on the highway.
can
like,
you
and then
do
go back
that
to all-wheel drive.
because it's like a diesel transmission? Like, is that because of the type of tranny?
No,
No,
it's-
he's gone in
that's
and
just the rear
bypassed
end.
it.
That's just the
switch.
rear end. That's just so it's
Yeah.
just like
The
it's
drive
just like
shaft's always spinning, but it just when I hit that switch, it turns off all the electronic nannies to
That's
close the clutches in
tight!
the back.
It disconnects
pretty
the rear wheels is basically
It
what it
took
does.
Basically,
so you're
Subaru's
freewheeling in the rear.
driver-controlled center diff and was like, "I'm just gonna
But-
turn it off."
basically.
You won't race me front wheel drive.
I'd try. It'd be a little hard. I felt like a Honda. I was like,
You won't?
Yeah.
That's how I look. I
I'd give it a
drive
shot.
the GTI, man. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah.
Kyle
I
just
never
heard
raced
Kyle
like
just
that.
heard front wheel drive race with you having more weight in the ass. That's all he heard right now.
Yes,
He's
he
like,
did.
"I'll take that
Yes,
ride."
he did. And he's like, I got that race.
Where are all y'all at?
What's up?
California.
All Cal.
All y'all
We're all
in
California. We all
Sacramento.
pretty much
We're all
like
like 20 minutes from
Oh,
each
no
other.
shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
if that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
hate we hate the freedom to modify things as we please, so we decided we'd stay in California. And
Yeah.
we like to
years,
make
bro.
things hard on ourselves.
100%.
5 years.
Yeah. 5 years, yeah.
5 years.
That's awesome.
5 years from
Yeah,
new
wait.
to do with what you want, and then
5 years, and then I'm probably gonna leave California.
yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
do the same.
Is that when
Yeah.
they're putting in a law for that, or what?
What's that?
No, dude, smog laws in California are like the most stringent. Period. You can't damn near do anything. Timmy's car, well, Chris's car too.
Oh,
They're both relatively stock, but like me, Mike, and fucking Kyle cannot pass smog. Even the visual.
I
So
mean,
is
did
that
you
like a
guys
yearly
hear
thing, or
about-
what? Or were you saying like
Af-
in 5 years?
After,
then
so if you, I bought my car essentially new. I got it like 6,000 miles on it. So I have it's 5 years from the original model year before you have to smog it the first time,
oh,
and then it's every other year after that, or like every 3 years after that, or some shit.
Yeah, I
as
meant
as
more-
you
2 years.
dang.
I meant 5 years. Like I'm gonna leave California. Like
right? No.
dude, fuck this. Like legit. Like the laws that we pass in California just for car regulation alone is.
Can't
Yeah.
you just like make an LLC in like Texas and then register your car under
We
that?
don't
and
talk
not-
about that on the internet.
Can't
Brett.
talk about that online.
Kyle,
Word.
Once we're done recording, we'll have that conversation. There's more coming after this conversation.
I think that we have. I think that this conversation happens almost every podcast. We're like, we can't talk about that on the internet.
Okay,
That's
I didn't
something-
know.
Gotta bleep that out now.
Yeah. I'm gonna blur though. I'm just gonna cut it. We're just gonna
Cut it.
So,
Yeah.
so back to
Internet
smog laws. Did you guys hear about like, the whole? Did you guys hear about the Rudy thing? The Rudy trying to sell his Evo, and the guy had to put it back to stock because like California has put
Yeah,
a
he
hit
got
out
caught.
on like STIs and Evos for modifications.
Really?
Like it had
Yeah.
to go to bar.
He got
Like
caught.
he put it back to stock.
Yeah, he had to get it state reps.
Everything.
Yeah, he had to get it.
Yeah.
reps.
I mean, like it took him like a month to get that shit done.
It's a lot. Well, I mean, and the thing that sucks too is like Mitsubishi parts are like unnecessarily expensive for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there's so much. Like they're like German car level expensive for reasons nobody can
Dang.
understand.
They don't
So,
make them
oh,
anymore.
It's not
Yeah.
even when they still made them. They were like dumb expensive. It's
But you
I don't know
think
why.
about it, like, the Evo hasn't been since 2010.
2015. No, it's been since like 2015.
Yeah. it
But
was
which
08
Evo?
to
Real
15.
Evo, or are you talking Evo 10?
Evo 10 went up to
Oh,
20
okay.
like
Evo
15.
10.
Okay, okay,
I
Bryce.
get it,
but he's right. But
Okay,
he's right.
Bryce.
I'm sorry, Rudy,
Okay,
but
I mean,
the real
he's got a
Evos
point.
come before Evo 10. Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That shit was savage.
That
Look
was
at the way they
That's true.
massacred my boy.
Oh, one
That
of my best friends here in right next door in Amarillo, Texas. He's got a 9-second Evo 8. So every time someone brings up an Evo
Jesus.
10, he's like, "That's not an Evo. That's not an Evo." Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have what is the 4G63, right?
Yeah,
that's
it's like
the
if it's not a 4G, it's not a real Evo. That's
because
Yeah.
it's like they got them. The DSM's had 4G63s too, right?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Eagle Talons and Eclipses had the same shit. So I mean, yeah, it's a stout ass engine. They make dumbass parts.
It is.
They're over.
When-
I love that's the generation of overbuilt bottom ends from Japan. You know, because like 2J came out in the same time period. All that kind of shit. It's just like, where's all that action at? Now we're getting BMW engines instead. Fucking
Yeah,
horseshit.
They want you to
That
pay
B58 is
$50,000
wild.
And
for it.
interiors. It's bullshit.
Right. Slight
Yeah,
intermission.
they want you to pay
Hey,
50
wait a
grand
minute.
for anything.
You
Wait a minute.
forgot to ask, what's everybody drinking?
Oh, that's true. I did. I'm a
Oh,
bad
we
person.
skipped it. We skipped
I
it.
skipped it.
Mm.
I know
Okay,
it's my
so-
fault. So is that a Lagenkugels or
Is that a
I don't-
Yingling? Hell yeah.
Youngling? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
He knows.
I got
This
it.
Kyle-
says Bira Moretti.
All good IPA.
Yeah.
We all know kids drinking fucking tequila. Kyle.
Yep.
Oh, the
Okay.
num num juice. Yeah.
Okay,
Num
so
Num
I
juice.
just I didn't know
What
they
is
made
that?
this. I just picked this up.
What is that?
Money
Money
Cash
Cash
Haze.
Money Cash.
Money
Haze.
cash.
That must be new. I haven't had that
Knee deep. By the way, this is
Knee
fire.
deep.
before.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Is it? I'll try it out. I'll
Delicious.
definitely try it out.
Delicious.
That's the one thing we got good in NorCal is good local brews. There's a lot of good.
Do y'all-
brews up here.
Do they make like THC infused like beers and
Yep.
stuff yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
This is California, baby. Weed,
It's Cali.
weed, and free
Yes.
sunshine are the only two things we have going for us right now.
Yeah.
Everything.
Dang. I would like to try that.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean-
yeah, they got weed and dog bones and shit. It's crazy.
Yep.
Dude, like legit, I give my dog. My dog has THC treats because I mean, Tim can attest to this.
He's
My
a
dog
monster.
is crazy. My dog is crazy.
He's a
He's
monster.
85 pounds.
Is it
He's a German
THC or is
Shepherd.
it CBD?
Both.
THC? So there's
Ah,
CBD
There are both.
and there's THC.
Really?
So
For
CBD
dogs?
has no
Yeah.
hallucinogenic
Yeah.
effects or whatever it is, but then the THC will literally like you can watch him just like take it from this level to this level.
Well,
Because,
yeah,
I
he's
mean-
fucking blown out of his mind.
Yeah, he's like,
He is.
"Alright."
And he is because this dog, like, and Tim can attest to this. This dog has the worst separation anxiety you will ever meet in your life.
Oh.
Like, you were gone for 10 minutes, you were thought you were gone for 10 hours.
That's
Like, it is
Tim.
full blown. Like, if you look at the end of his tail, he gets so.
That
Dude,
was
okay,
subtle.
just his tail is like 30
No.
pounds. So
no.
it's like
so we figured
smack.
this out for the years and years and years. There would always be blood on the wall, and I could not figure it out.
What
Could
the
not figure
fuck
it out.
are we talking about right now?
My
What's
dog.
happening?
My dog.
His
we'll get back to
German
cars. Hold on.
Shepherd.
So we figured out that he gets so excited that on the end of his tail, underneath the bottom of it, he's worn all the hair away. And when he beats it against the wall, he cracks the skin open and blood flings in
Yeah.
because he's
That's
so
wild.
excited that you're home. That this is literally every day that I deal with this. Every single day when I leave, when I come home, whether I'm gone for an hour, 10 hours, I go to work, he literally acts the exact same way. And do the THC things take him literally from this level to he's just like Kyle, like I said, he's fucking loaded. Like he's loaded, high as shit, just chilling.
That's
Eat his
wild.
So what you're telling me is you have a toxic relationship with your German Shepherd. That's fine.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much. I
Yeah.
pay to keep him medicated, and I'm okay with that.
I'm
okay
living
with
a good life. Shit, you can
Okay.
He's
adopt
like,
me.
man,
I
I'm
mean, he's
really
living the good
hungry
good.
right now. I'm just
Cool. All
The
right.
dog has
sweet.
3 dog beds in this house that's 1,500 square feet. Trust me, he's living the best life he could possibly live.
Well, now that we're on PETA's fucking blacklist because who else can we piss off today?
Yeah,
right.
Fuck it. Politics are back on the table. Screw it.
No, fuck that.
No.
I get into that shit. Okay.
I'm gonna burn the podcast to the ground in one
Get-
episode.
one episode. Icarus
So-
flew too close to the sun today.
That's just true. We had so much potential and we squandered it on trolling the fucking internet.
Oh my
Um,
god.
So yeah,
I
back
mean-
to Bryce's car. Back
We
to
gotta get
actual
cars. We
shit.
gotta get the
Yeah.
cars.
Yes. Yeah. So did you start in autocross or did you start doing something else? Or like what got you into cars?
Let's see. I had a Dodge Durango to start, and then I crashed out into a tree. And
Oh.
a buddy, I really wanted a Mini Cooper. That's what I really wanted. But a guy, I worked at a car dealership, like detailing cars and stuff, like for auction. And he was telling me like this VR6 Jetta would be the shit. And like I got in it, and it was like leather,
Fucking
and it was a
Chewbacca.
stick, and I was like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
I like this. And eventually, I learned about the R32, the Mark IV R32. Well, I got stationed out here in New Mexico, and I was just searching. I don't know if it was Craigslist back then. I don't know if we had Facebook Marketplace in 2012, but I think I saw it somewhere locally, and I was like, I'm going to get that car. And eventually I did. I got my first car loan, like for myself and everything. I got this, like, I think it was 40,000 mile Mark IV R32. And it was already came with some mods on it. Had like grooving control arms and AXT coilovers, a couple other things. I wanted just meeting car guys around, you know, at the auto hobby on base and the car meets, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go race around some cones this weekend in Albuquerque. You want to join?" And I was like, "Well, racing sounds fun," and I've, you know, never been to Albuquerque, and I went up and did this autocross event, and I just fell in love. From there, I was like
That's
instantly
awesome.
addicted. From
Hell
there,
yeah.
I was just like, been hammering it down ever since.
That's awesome.
Dude, are those that generation of those R32s? I wanted one of those motherfuckers so bad when I was a kid, dude.
Dude.
Dude, they're
It's
nice.
just such a cool little. I just realized it on my screen, but I brought it up so everybody else can see it. And if you're listening to this, you should just look up MK4 R32, and it's literally the first thing that pops up. You don't have to do Volkswagen or anything, but it was VR6 all-wheel drive 6-speed manual, right?
Sounds
Dude, yeah.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
dude, they are lovely.
Yeah, and this is in what, like 04, 05,
Yep.
something like that.
04
so-
is the only year for that generation.
That's right. It was
04 is 04 the egg-shaped one or like the more squared off
Here,
boxy one?
let me.
More rounded.
I'll show
pull
you
up.
here.
No, I'll share my screen and bring it up for you guys that way. Now that we're screwing everything up on the podcast, sorry everybody who's watching this.
Ooh,
There you go.
Why
So if you
is my
click on
pictures
that,
on?
it'll
Like
show
watch
you.
stream.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. So it's that
oh,
like this is the shit that German manufacturers used to do that I used to really really appreciate. So like similar generation like BMW M5, just super clean and understated, but like just a little bit aggressive. You know what I mean? They had nice like
Oh yeah.
like
yeah.
factory flares and shit like that, and like
Yeah.
that shit was like the peak of German engineering and German design for me, because like all the Audis, because you had like the like the B4 S4s.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't load in right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
Are those
mine. I used to
RPF
like
ones?
put. Yeah,
sick.
I love that car, dude. I
It's a
I
great-
wound up supercharging that at one point, and it was dude,
Yeah.
it was godly.
Ooh.
That's
you,
awesome.
wait, you put a blower on it?
Dude, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
That's the car I thought it was. So
Damn.
we had one of these at work, and there's a guy that put a fucking supercharger on it, and that thing was wicked fast. Like,
Dude, they
like,
scream.
came on
So what
quick.
what
like,
brand of supercharger was that though?
I had a VF V9.
VF Engineering. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, by the way, they do fucking Huracans now, right? Don't they
Yep.
they do blowers for
Yeah.
Huracans and all types of shit. So that Volkswagen fucking blood runs deep, bruh. But
It does.
yeah, dude, that's sick. I love the way those engines sound. We talked about it before, but just that fucking
The Wookiee.
Nothing's-
They
yeah.
have a yearly event called Wookiees in the Woods, named just after those motors. 'Cause
Yeah.
they sound like
Oh, yeah.
Wookiees.
yeah, they
Yeah.
shut up! I didn't know
Do-
that. No
do that
way.
again. Do that again.
yeah, they fucking sound like that, dude. They do when they're like straight piped and shit, and you're fucking leaning on them, like they sound like
They sound
fucking
awesome.
Chewbacca.
I can see that. I can see that sound like a Wookiee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
That's,
this, man. This is clean.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's a huge event every year at the Tail of the Dragon. You know, it's like
yeah,
however
I've
many.
heard about that.
Yeah,
I've heard about that.
it's a huge
One of
like
those-
golf bar only event every year out
Ooh.
there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Alex, you notice the color of that beautiful car?
Okay, we get it, Timmy. It's
Whatever.
blue. We understand. Timmy
Whatever.
likes blue.
We get
Timmy likes
Blue's the
turtles.
fastest car right there. Yeah, there's Charles, the Hummer mechanic.
It adds horsepower.
Yeah, Hirsch.
Hirsch?
Lots
How
of
much have you
horsepower.
had to drink / Actually, don't answer that question.
Well, it's okay.
Oh,
Tim's got the day
okay,
off
it's okay.
tomorrow, so Tim's
Yeah.
gonna get schmemmered tonight.
So do I.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, wait a minute. Cheers to Marine Corps birthday. And
true.
Veterans Day tomorrow.
Veterans Day
Thank
tomorrow,
you. Thank you,
which will
gentlemen.
be
for
a
your
week
service. Appreciate you.
minus 1 day plus when you guys listen to this. But yes.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Also, Timmy, you're frozen again. Or maybe you're just really stoned. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
No, I'm not yet.
So, Bryce, what's the most challenging mod you've done so far?
Most challenging.
Ooh, that's a solid question right there, Kyle.
Mhm.
On this car, it would
I know.
probably
I said
be.
I know this.
I wouldn't say the turbo as a whole, because the turbo is pretty easy to swap out. But getting to the coolant drain and oil drain, or no,
From the back?
coolant feed, and yeah, dude, it's just
Yeah,
with the drive shaft in the way and all that. It's pretty rough. But like, really, honestly, pulling the motor and trans together was easier and less like frustrating than getting those lines off the back of the turbo. Like I had like so much less stress just pulling the whole motor, pulling the wiring harness off. It was super easy. You know,
Mine was easier because I don't have a drive shaft.
yeah, so you can go right up under there and see a little bit. I didn't want to pull the drive shaft because there one time used bolts and this, that, and the third. I was like,
Right.
Fuck that. But
At least you fucking knew that going into it, because I know a lot of dumb motherfuckers who would have put those bolts right back in there, and then some shit shreds off the flange, and it's all bad, dude.
Yeah.
If the manufacturer tells you to replace them for a reason,
You're assuming that people I hang out with read manufacturing.
that's a solid fucking point right there.
Yeah.
Solid
if it's
point.
like drivetrain or like internal related, you got to follow those torque specs. There's no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm to the point where I'm so old and scared of something flying off my car that I torque everything down. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't even like
put a little blue Loctite on there.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Listen,
It ain't coming off. It ain't coming out without
it
me
ain't
helping.
coming off, right? As long as I'm not over. Go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of turbos, I know what you run, but you want to tell the rest of these guys what you run too?
It's called an EQT Vortex. I have the standard housing based off the GTI turbo rather than the Golf R turbo because I'm in altitude. But really, I mean, it's not that much bigger. I mean, it's the same housing. It's a hybrid, so it's the same housings as OEM, just upgraded bearings and wheels and whatnot.
Internals, yeah.
Okay,
it's
so
the same. It's just
beefed up.
But someone who doesn't know Volkswagen, so what is a stock R? What do you get out of a stock R?
Like tuned out stage 2, you might get like around 400 wheel, and like maybe like if you really push the torque, you can probably get like 430 torque out of it.
Hey, Alex, you want to sell our Subarus?
Dude, did you not see me post the new Golf R? Did you not see me post the new Golf R in the Discord? And I was like, I don't hate this.
Yeah,
I'm about to buy one. Like, are you kidding me?
Do it.
You understand? Like Bryce, I have to spend $8,000 to $10,000 to get to the level at 400 as a Subaru.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately,
oh my god!
You can get there easily and then just blow up your car.
Well, yeah, I know.
If you want to not blow up your car,
all I really need is like an intake.
I can throw a Cobb 20G at it, E85 injectors, intercooler, all this shit. I can do it for like $6,500. I'll blow it up a week later.
I'm at 400
stock.
I'm at 400. 455.
I'm gonna tell y'all, we're gonna have this conversation in about a week and a half, and y'all are gonna hate me. So,
yeah,
you're an asshole.
All of you.
286 is not 400, my friend.
Wait
what
parts?
I already know.
I'll believe it when I see it. Let me see the invoice.
Check my email.
Email me the invoice.
You can check my email.
Can we drop the ball here? Can we like kind of?
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we should. Check this out. It comes out in a week. This comes out in a week. So by then,
so
that's true.
Anybody who actually listens to this, and Bryce, you'll be one of the first ones to hear this. I bought a Skyline. I bought a Nissan GTR V-Spec Skyline R33.
Right on. Dude,
let me see if it's still on the website. Let me see if
it's literally still on the website. I literally sent funds. It's Japanese classics.
Yep, I'm already there.
Yesterday.
What color did you say?
Silver.
It's the silver one.
So
with
Alex,
the Tomei.
No. Go down.
With the Tomei, bro.
Got the Tomei dog.
So it's got HKS suspension, coilovers.
Sick.
Tomei exhaust system. It's got work wheels on it. It is right there to the left.
Yeah.
Pending sale, baby.
I can only get so erect. Please stop.
So
I don't
if you play the
believe
video,
so.
it actually shows you what it sounds like when you start it up. But this is
no way.
I'm gonna roll through the photos real quick and then we'll play the video. I am.
There's like, is that some type of tint on the windows, or is that their light?
It's just their lights.
Like that. Okay, so if anybody goes down this path as a GTR and listens to this shit.
The peach
so
on the back of this
So
thing.
sexy.
Ooh, that
This
interior
car-
is clean. You need to change that
this
steering.
this car literally got a 9.5 out of 10 from the inspector, who was an independent inspector that I hired to go look at this car. Literally, there is 4 or 5 rock chips. There's double adhesive tape that needs to be replaced. There's one headlight lens that needs to be replaced. And that's it. Like, literally, the car needs nothing else. There's no rust. There's no issues. They just put tires on it. They did a timing belt. They did a water pump. They did everything to this car. It is ready to drive. It is literally
Dude,
ready to
real
drive.
quick. You
Stock
realize
motor?
what wheel? You realize what?
Yes,
wheels
I
are on
do.
this car, right?
I do. You're welcome.
Say it.
You're welcome.
Say it.
Say it,
You know
Alex.
what wheels are on these cars, right?
Alex, say it.
Say it.
It's fucking wheels that I want, you piece of shit.
Say it.
No.
And anybody that actually watches this, yes, I've always wanted this car. I love this car. Anybody who watches Fast and the Furious always wants a GTR. Everybody wants a 34.
Oh,
Wait,
That's different.
wait.
RBs are nasty.
And you hear that turbo at the end.
Yeah,
That's
you can't hear
true.
the whistle. Yeah.
So, not to take away from Bryce's team, but this is the new car.
No,
coming.
no, that is
This is the Subaru
dope.
is not going anywhere. The Subaru is staying. The STI is going to be a forever car. This car I've always wanted to own. Always wanted to be
Who
about.
fucking hasn't wanted to own a Skyline? Fuck outta
And
here.
this is an opportunity. I mean, this is
Yeah.
literally an opportunity to buy my dream car and not lose money on it. This car will do nothing but
That's
go up
true.
in value in the next 4 years. So, and that is the goal. So
Yeah.
yes, I bought a Nissan Skyline GTR R33 V-Spec.
Respect.
They only made 7,000 of this car in the entire world. So when
God damn.
R34s become available to import to United States in 2024, already right now, 4 years away, less than 4 years away, they're going for $250,000 to $400,000.
We went through this last time. That odd.
We did.
Was it?
Why?
It wasn't. It was the NIR. The NIR is being offered for a
Well,
$500,000.
okay, so and in doing research on Skylines, so R34s, which we all want, they only made 12,000 in the entire world.
What?
The entire world.
Mhm.
R34, there's only 12,000 R34s ever produced in
of
the entire
every variant combined.
GTRs.
Really?
Yeah, 30. Yeah. So
Holy
you have
shit.
the,
like
you have the
GTRs,
34
GTSs.
GTSTs, all of that stuff. There's literally R34s. There's 12,000 in the entire world.
That
Wow.
doesn't
I
count
had
the
no idea.
sedans. There's the ER34s, the 4 doors, right? But like, and you
Yes.
have like the Stagias, which is basically the wagon with the front end. Or
But
whatever.
Oh, yeah, the
car
state-
that
those
everyone
things are hot.
Stagias are hot as fuck.
Is the GTR. Everybody wants a GTR.
Yeah,
and
of course you want a
literally
GTR. It's
they
fucking
made
GTR.
12,000. So
Bryce, are you sure you don't drive an STI? You don't drive a Subaru blowing fucking vape at the camera like that?
Sorry.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the comment. I was waiting for it.
It's better than cigarettes.
He rolled his sleeves. He rolled his sleeves up. He's like, I got
Fuck, I
this.
ain't gonna take this shit.
I gotta take this shit. Got the fastest
Yeah.
car in this group.
No.
No, so
It's some jack stands. Yeah.
Yeah, it
that
ain't
car
fast if
is-
it don't run.
if anybody, true.
I'll
if
win now. I'll win for sure.
You win now.
For sure.
Give me 2 months. But no, that car will be on a truck tomorrow and will be dropped off at my house in roughly a week.
No shit.
Oh God.
So
damn it.
So
fuck
where's
yeah,
that at?
sick.
Florida? They're in Florida?
They're in Virginia. Or it's in Virginia. No, they're in Virginia. They're in Virginia. So
I already put
I
it
was
down, I don't know
also
where.
in talks with I got to go down to Top Rank. Top Rank Imports. Shout out to Brian out at Top Rank. Awesome guy, super chill, super cool. Just didn't work out with the car that they had down there. But I mean, he let me go down there, look at cars twice. I mean, spent hours with me. Super chill, super cool dude. They go to Japan every year. If you don't follow them. They're great guys. They literally will just explain the whole process to you. If you want to buy one of these cars, you can. Originally, I was looking at an R32 GTR. Literally, the car had, I think, like 400 to 450 horsepower. It was a built car that came from Japan. And I showed up at Top Rank on my kind of honeymoon.
Oh.
I got married.
We
And
got people out
he
here.
was-
Sorry.
no, he was super cool. Like he took the wifey for a ride, and he took me for a ride. Let me drive the
No
cars,
shit.
like just to get to see what the actual experience is like. And like, I mean, everybody other than Bryce will get to drive the car because he's in New Mexico. But
Yeah, that's a shithole.
it's a completely different experience. Like we said earlier in the podcast, nobody fucking lives in New Mexico.
Nobody
No.
lives. It's
You.
literally
So-
just you.
Yeah.
You're the
It's
only
you,
person.
bro.
That's
It's
just
you.
what I would say to yourself. So the thing about Top Rank that's cool for like Californians is that they So
Yes.
Sean, who's like the dude who started that, and he used to work for MotorX, which was the original Skyline importer in the States. Period. Back in the '90s, it was the only way to get a Skyline back in the day, and they had gone through a whole process to get R34s in like early 2000s legally drivable.
Yes.
Even though
Yes.
they didn't. And he had a shitty business partner. A bunch of cars got crushed. Heartbreaking. Whatever. But if you live in California, what's cool is that they can actually make the car CA legal, completely CA legal.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It's another fucking 10 grand because
Yeah,
California is a
so-
shithole, but it is doable, right? Don't go into it. We're not going to talk about it. All we're going to say is Mike got a Skyline.
no.
Whoever
So-
chooses to
so-
register, it's up to him.
Depending on what car you buy, no. Depending on what car you buy, it's anywhere from 5 to 10 grand. If you're gonna buy an R34 and you're gonna import it, it's 10 plus grand. If you buy an R32, depending on what's done to the car, it's anywhere from 5 to 7 to 8 grand on top of the price of the car. Same with the R33s. So, and what they add is they add cats they add
There's like
think
some
they add
crash shit they have to put in
crash
there.
shit. I think they add a
in the
leak
bar-
detection
in the
module
doors.
technically for the vacuum system in the car. Like it's a bunch of shit that like in if anybody listens to this and you're gonna buy one, the more stock you can find and you live in California, the better off you are.
If you want it
Because
legally registered to
If
drive
you
in
want it
California,
legally
yeah.
registered in California, the best thing you can do is find a stock GTR, stock whatever from Japan, import it, have the guys fix it to where it literally is a one-time smog. Car goes in, you smog it, you never have to smog it again.
Oh, really? Because it's
Yes.
vintage or whatever, or
It's
what?
vintage because it's 25 years old.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
Oh.
It's
But
a
it's got a pass
one-time
initially.
use only, but they make you spend 5 to 10 grand to make this happen.
Which
for you.
is so fucked because you know all of those cars end up modified to dig.
100%.
anyway.
The day one,
That's crazy.
I'd take that thing home and I'd rip all of that shit off that car.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Fucking frustrating, dude.
like
It's
you
so
will, because I
fucking
mean,
frustrating.
let's be honest about it. Like, what robs horsepower? Emissions,
Yeah.
and
It's the
especially in
truth.
California where we live, brand new cars. Like Tim can attest to this, and Chris can attest to this. The new cars, actually, all of you can attest to this because we all have new cars. But the fact that the smog laws are so rigorous in California, let alone the United States. Like it is ridiculous what we have to do in California.
Well, we
to
set the
meet
bar
all this
here.
shit.
That's the thing. It's like
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
we
rest of
set
the country, like California leads all the bullshit categories that we have to
Mm.
lead.
Well, it's
apparently.
just if you're an auto manufacturer, dude, like it makes way more sense to just build all the cars for the strictest state than to like build special parts
Yeah.
for the strictest state, right? Like, and then you just charge the same amount of money to everybody.
Did you hear what
it's whatever.
Wisconsin just passed?
No, I didn't. I don't.
So Wisconsin
Oh, Lord.
passed this. No. This
Here we go.
is big for auto industry. Wisconsin passed a law that auto manufacturers have to make every single brand new car usable to an independent or for you at home. So you
What the
have to be
fuck
able to
does
read
that
your
even-
own.
Oh,
Like you get a check engine light, right?
Yeah, I
you
got
should
you.
be able to
Oh,
read
the
your
right to
own
fix, or
your
whatever
Yeah.
they call it.
fault codes, your own this, your own
You'd be able to
that,
read it
your own-
without a scanner, right? Without having to
Correct.
pay for it.
And without having to pay, $10,000 for a tester or whatever it is, Kyle can attest to this, that a lot of auto manufacturers are locking that stuff down. Even like with Porsche, right? We work for Porsche. You can't reset your oil change light without a $20,000 tester. You physically
Really?
cannot
Yeah.
do it. There's ways
What?
around it. It's super sketchy, but there's ways around it. But again, you could fry computer systems left and right. And prime example in a
Dang.
911, there's 60 control units in that car, depending on options. You fry one, and it's a CAN bus system. You think you're gonna fry
Yeah,
one?
you're gonna fry
Or are you
everything.
gonna fry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? You're gonna start frying stuff. But that's what Wisconsin passed. They passed a law that basically made auto manufacturers accountable to allowing mom and pop shops to be able to work on cars.
Good.
So it helps
Yeah,
all
good
the
idea.
other boys.
So anyway about nerd shit. Let's talk about go fast shit. I'm just kidding.
God, I'll go fast. I'll go
Hold on, I gotta
fast.
pee.
I want to go fast. I want to go
I want to go
fast.
fast, mom.
How did we get into can butts? It's so good. Oh my god.
All right, Bryce, how long have you been doing autocross?
When I got here in 2012, so probably like 2013, somewhere around about 7 years, 7
Nice.
years.
And this
I
dude
wasn't
is-
too serious about it back in the day. It was more just like me versus my friends. Like we go and see, just see, how to buy beers or whatever. And then once I just said like, well, I want to go faster. We're like, well, that'd be like an R35 would show up, and I'd be like a second behind an R35 in my, in a car with half the power, and I don't even get like 30% of power to the rear wheels back then with the Mark IV. I was like, I am this close to beating a GTR. Like I would never beat him in a straight line ever, but I'm this close on track. And just like kind of pushed me, like I want to be able to beat this car. I want to be able to beat this car. And now it's just like, yeah, I'm beating all these cars. This is great. I'm gonna keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Eventually, like
So,
to
like-
the point where I am now, where I want to get to grid life. That's my goal. Like I want to get to
Sick.
grid life and fucking compete. But it's expensive, so
Right.
that's a whole
Is
different.
it expensive
thing.
in terms of like entering, like paying the entry fees and all that stuff, or is it expensive?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
I didn't-
super
yeah.
expensive.
Is it really?
What
I
are
have no idea.
what are
I
the
looked
fees
it up.
to
I think it
enter?
was like $800 something a day or something, and they're like
Holy
3-day
shit.
events. It's ridiculous, dude.
Just a run. That's like no like tires. That's no fuel. That's no nothing.
No, they don't give you shit. It's grid life.
No.
It's just like
Well,
any
no,
other
no,
track.
no.
track.
Yeah.
I get that, but like, does the $800 does that include like all your finances for the day, or is that just to enter the shit?
No, that's like just to be able to race. That doesn't include any of your own personal shit. Like,
So grid
don't,
life
don't
is like
quote
a
me.
whole.
I looked at it. It was like ridiculous numbers, and it depends. Different tracks cost different amounts.
I mean,
this, that,
it
and the
makes
third,
sense
but-
in the sense of like, so grid life is like a lifestyle thing. It's race all day, party all night, right? They have music,
Right.
they have all that kinds of shit. So, and like, it's pretty well publicized. So, like, I would see how, like, okay, so like, people like us or like you, right? You run a YouTube channel. You pay $800, you go to grid life, you do well. Like, that's good exposure for
Right.
social
Yeah,
media
I
channel,
didn't really
right?
think about that.
As a
yeah.
content, and same thing with us. Like even like let's just say we just went to grid life, right? That's great content. Be there, be trackside, check all that shit out, see all the cars,
Oh, yeah.
see all the people.
Like all the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, it's like
Exactly.
going to like
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those big drift events.
Yeah,
like-
exactly. I mean, I used to do that shit all the time before the fucking end of the world. But yeah, I mean, it's tons of cool shit. You get to see, a lot of these. You know how it is, race car shit. People don't give away a lot of the secrets. They don't talk a whole lot about what goes into the car and what doesn't in the car and all that kinds of stuff. Because Formula Drift's gotten to the point where it's just like every other motorsport where everybody's cheating the rule book, right? Your number one competition is the rule book, right? Where can I get a mechanical
and
advantage?
in.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're not cheating. You're
Right.
trying.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? I mean, it's like you
Not
look at cars like you look at like Von Gittin Jr.'s cars where it's like they're running rear coilovers. Those cars don't come with rear coilovers
Right.
factory, and there's limitation on. Oh, you got to use factory pickup points for the suspension. So they're doing all kinds of like little funky bracketry and shit to put a straight up coilover where a separated spring and shock is supposed to go on factory.
Right.
Shit like that, right? Like, and
Yeah.
how do you be able to dial in that much adjustment in a solid rear axle prior to the S550s, but to a solid rear axle, that kind of shit. So they're always doing fucking crazy shit like that. So being able to go back there and see all that stuff and get up close with it, yeah, it's fucking cool as a car guy and just as an enthusiast, So I think that's probably one of the reasons why something like that would be so expensive. But also, it's fucking cool, and they know it's fucking cool, and there's no other event like that,
Fuck
right?
yeah.
Where it's 3 days. It's like the fucking Coachella for gearheads, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it really is.
Time to
Yeah.
back and drift in and fucking, get
Little
fucking
Burning Man.
wasted. Yeah, party all night,
Yeah.
sleep in the trailer,
Yeah.
wake up, fucking run it again, right? Like,
Do it
that's
all
cool. That's
again.
fucking cool. Like, I would love to do something. So, what would you say? Like, this is something that's really interesting to me. Is when you first started doing autocross, right? Like, what do you wish that somebody had like told you before you started? Like, what's something that, like super caught you off guard? I'm sure you were probably nervous going into your first one. Fucking my
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
right? Like, yeah. So like, what?
I mean, off the bat as a driving tip, it would have been more brakes. Use more brakes. I'd be going in way too hot everywhere and just understeering. That was my biggest deal with that car, was just understeering the fuck out of every corner. It's like learning the. I mean, that's how you learn the limit. You know what I mean? But it's just like actually use your brakes. Like use them like punch them as hard, like very hard.
Right.
And that car came with coilovers and it had camber plates, but I thought camber was just for stance kids. I had no idea back then that camber would be my biggest benefit ever. I never ever once changed camber. I didn't really learn about suspension adjustments and toe in and toe out.
And all that shit.
I didn't learn about any of that until I got this car, and I was like, "You idiot! Like you have so much potential, so much more." Like
these guys look at me sideways. I run 2.5 negative degrees of camber in the right, and they look at me like I'm fucking crazy, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a little sketchy on the freeway, but dude, buried in a turn, bitch, fucking, it's all good."
Yeah,
like,
I daily at negative 3.1. That's.
See, I'm not the craziest person in here anymore.
I'm at 1.9.
I'm negative 2. I ain't that far from you.
I'm stock.
Yeah,
tires expensive. Tires way too expensive.
You get your shit for free.
But it's really like,
motherfucker.
Like I rotate my tires pretty often.
Guy.
Yeah, same. That's the one thing. And two, also, bad toe will eat your tires up faster than negative camber.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Toe is the biggest killer. Not unless you're doing like stance boy camber, but
we don't talk about that shit. Don't fucking start. Yeah, I don't understand boy camber.
About to spit my beer.
Fuck you.
Alex is tucking.
I'm not okay. I actually measured. I'm not tucking. And second of all,
tucking on stock wheels. He's tucking on stock wheels.
Whatever, bro. You're fucking driving a 4x4. Get out of here.
I love you. Okay, I love you. Okay.
That lifted ass truck.
I know, right? You jumped that thing
looks
yet?
It looks like my son's Jeep.
Dang.
Give me some.
I give you that. I give you that.
Low boys, fucking low boys right here. That's right. This guy fucking.
Yeah.
I'm still faster in a corner than both of you, so it's all good.
He's also got 265s, which I'm jealous of 265s.
Up front?
Sure. All around.
All the way around.
Oh, dang. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm on 8.5 inch wide. He's on 9 inch wide. I want to get 10-inch wide wheels, but it's just really very few options for like off the shelf cast wheels where I wouldn't have to go to something custom in 3-piece, and boy's not trying to do 60s on a set of wheels.
Fuck
you don't got that Chris Kidd money?
I ain't got that.
Me and Timmy are the slowest ones.
Yeah,
I still don't got that Chris Kidd money.
definitely.
All right. So what are your obviously I follow you through the forums. I follow you through YouTube and all that. What are your like end goals for your Golf R? Like, what do you want power wise? I see you're doing obviously front and rear cradle tubeless.
I
what
saw
do you
that.
want? Like,
Dude, that's clean.
Yeah, super clean.
I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna stop. I mean, that's hard.
That's the right answer.
Like,
So
I really,
you're a drag racer and you're a crosser, right?
Well,
For the
the car's
part?
going to be mostly set up for like turns. I just do drag racing just to fill my time.
Okay.
'Cause I usually like in like a normal season out here, I might have like one weekend a month where I'm not racing. It's just like autocross, track day. Drag racing could be any night of the week. Get a call out on a Tuesday night at 8:00. Well, slam a beer. Go do a money run. Upload that shit real quick.
Under the legal blood alcohol limit. Under the legal.
Man, you can have 3 beers and be good, dog. You got to
Gotta bleep all that out of the podcast.
I'm not condoning
Their
it.
blood
I'm
alcohol
just
level
saying.
is different than California.
Do you boys like Mexico?
I don't know if y'all never been to it. Dude, the Texas tracks out here, they sell beer at the track. You could see a guy, chug a beer and then hop in and go run like a 9-second pass.
I'm in the wrong state. I am in the wrong.
Texas doesn't give a fuck, bro. Texas doesn't give a fuck.
Man.
We have there's this track in Lubbock, Texas, dude, and it is like it's an 8th mile track, and it's like the most redneck place you've ever been. And it's like all dirt leading up to the staging lanes, and you can have as many people in your car as you want. I've seen like like dumb drunk bitches with white claws in the back of daddy's lifted, F-350, and the dude launches it, and she had her white claw, and she's like halfway out the window. He launched it, and she like smashes her face, beer all running down.
Oh,
Dude, they don't give a fuck, like zero.
that's
crazy.
awesome.
It's wild out here.
I
dude.
love it,
is, like-
dude. And she deserved every minute of that. She
What's
deserved
the
she
every
loved
minute.
it.
what's
thought
the
it was
rule? If
hilarious.
you're gonna be dumb, then you gotta be tough.
Yeah, bro. If you're leaning out the side of a lifted
Yeah.
lifted truck and he's launching it, bro, like
Bro, ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, bro. It's all good.
that's all.
Hey,
There ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. I like
So
that.
that's see. I mean, Texas too is like, and like one of the really early episodes of the podcast, we talked about like the difference in a quote unquote street car in California versus like a street car in fucking Texas. Like
Oh,
a street
yeah.
car in California is most of the time max 700 horsepower, right? Like they're like
On a cold
1,000.
day.
It's
On
like
a cold
everybody's.
day.
From what I can tell, most of these dudes that are roll racing or doing like low key street nights, or whatever, they're 7. Most of them are 4 digits. You know what I mean? Like you have some heavy hitting shit out there. And again, it's no smog laws, right? You can fucking drive around with turbos
could drive
hanging out of
around-
the. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have
Yeah.
stacks out the hood here. I think all you need is like I don't even think you need a windshield. You could ride around town
Well-
with your parachute.
I'm
Just
moving
like-
out to Albuquerque.
You don't
I'm
need a
moving out to New
windshield.
Mexico.
God damn, we all need to move.
I'm going
See,
with
We're all
that.
moving. That's
Albuquerque-
it. We're moving.
Albuquerque
Fuck.
does have smog though.
Oh,
Okay.
It's like
Maybe
everywhere
Cuda.
but Albuquerque.
oh, fuck.
So
So
I
just
register
register
in the
it
next town.
outside.
In
Oh,
the
yeah,
Yeah, I
next
mean you
town?
could
town.
live like
Yep.
20
I live
minutes
in the
outside of
next
town.
town.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's frozen on the left.
Uh,
That was perfect.
I just
That was good.
I took a screenshot. I took a screenshot of that.
Hell yes.
Mouth wide
Send that to
open,
me.
like leaning back, and you just froze.
That's so fucking great, dude.
Oh my god.
But as for the end goal, like I don't know if you guys follow any FCP's cars. They had some wide body Golfs, like TCR style
Huh.
stuff. I'd like to eventually like get a nice like an actual wide body that's functional, like functional aero. That's all
Sure.
going to be a thing
Yeah.
eventually. And then from there, I don't know what I mean. Just
How
dial
wide are we
everything in.
talking?
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
I knew the question was coming.
Like Jiffy
Dude.
Thick.
Are you
Right.
triggered?
I might be. We're about to find out.
I'm not trying to. I don't have any like ideas in
It's-
mind. It's just whatever those kits are. I don't want anything
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, you got the
I
last.
don't want to add a bunch of weight either. I don't want like super wide wheels or have to run crazy spacers or anything like too much. I'm a weight weenie. I don't want too much.
No, it's
of
good.
any
Okay. No,
extra.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Okay.
I'm with it.
It's not stance boy by any means. It'd be pure function, like 100%.
Sold. Sign me up.
So
Like, I really don't even like. I run 8-inch wide wheels just because I don't want to go wider and have to. It's more weight metal, more weight tire. Like,
So
I
yeah,
wanna
you're
keep
on. I
it-
mean, you guys are on relatively like, because I know Kyle, you're running 8-inch wheels too, right?
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and you're pretty much like you would have to throw a flare on there to go any wider than that.
Yeah, I
I think
run.
you can get away with like I think 9 with certain brands, but anything
Do you
more
ever
than
run
that-
into like clearance issues while turning and shit like that though, doing something like that? You know, because you have to have enough pop to keep it underneath the car without rubbing.
Right.
Or
Well,
sticking
when I
out.
added caster
Right.
arms, I rubbed through my fender liners up front.
Whoa.
So like my fender liners are gone.
So wheel clearances are tight in that thing. Okay. So yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's like,
I gotta
and so-
raise the car up every little bit.
so that's like the shit that like, so like I'm really into old Japanese shit. Like really, really. I just sent these dudes a photo of an old R31
Dude.
RS Turbo Skyline. Oh, dude,
Dude.
they're so expensive.
That was
It's
so
probably more
clean.
than your car, but
It was so
yeah,
clean though.
yeah, I know. I fucking love it. But
Yeah.
so I and
Those are the ones
all-
that have the mirrors like on the fenders.
no, I'm just gonna find a photo of it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna fucking
Do
bring
it.
up.
Do it.
But we lost somebody again. It's Kyle.
Kyle.
I feel like Kyle always just leaves and comes back.
Dude, I don't know what's going on here.
Ooh,
Oh, it's just his
ooh.
video. Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, one of these. That's a real one. So
Oh,
these
man.
were. So the cool
It
thing
definitely
about
still has that skyline look to the front end too. That's dope.
Mhm.
yeah. So this was like the car that like reinvigorated people's want for a Skyline, right? So like there was like the Hakusokas and the Kenmarys and all that shit, and then I can't remember what happened. There was like a financial reason why Nissan wasn't making Skylines, I think, for almost a decade. And then they brought this out. No, this is not all-wheel drive. It's like the older one. This is a rear-wheel drive car. It has it's an FJ20 DET, so it's like the predecessor to the SR20.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so like they look. There might be I'll look for a shot of the engine. So I think this is the exact car
God, that's hot.
that I was
That's
looking
nice.
at. Yeah,
Pretty wet.
yeah, that's the car that I sent to you guys the other day. So, but if you look, it's got flares on it, right? But the problem is like these old fucking Japanese cars, the bodies are so narrow, and they build the suspensions all the way out to the edges of the body, right? So if you want to run, if you build it and put any meat on it, like put a flare on it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with old Skylines, right? They're just very narrow body cars. So like
Right.
in that application, like yeah, dude, like you're not putting extra strain on anything, any suspension components or anything like that, or bearings or ball joints or any of that shit. It's just you want to run any kind of real meat. If you're pushing any kind of real power, you don't want to run.
You need. Yeah.
You want some meat to put it to the ground, right? Like if it doesn't get to the ground, it's a waste. Unless it's a drift car, but I'm never drifting one ever because I'd fucking
No. Oh,
kill
no.
myself if I crashed it, right? So like that shit I'm with, and I'm not gonna go down the whole fucking tirade of why I hate white, but I always just like to ask the qualifier of like how wide is white.
Yeah. Wide enough to be functional.
Oh my
no
God.
wider than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you know, you don't need 12-inch rear wheels. So.
Yeah.
No.
Why not? I mean,
Chris is in a different spot. He's already got he's talking
Shut
11.
up, Chris.
He's talking 11s right now, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Holy shit.
yeah.
dude, Camaro's got big old ass. We got
Bro.
big old
Yeah,
wheel well.
true.
Bryce,
You're
you
right.
don't know about Chris's Camaro, but Chris's Camaro is freaking solid. Like his
Pull it up, Alex.
shit is freaking
Yeah,
solid.
5th gen? 6th gen? I can't see it back.
6th gen.
6 gen.
Nice. My
It's
roommate's
American.
got an 800 wheel 6th gen. Big old Pro Charger on it.
Damn, he just said
Well,
fuck Chris.
Wow.
Chris.
Leave,
Alright,
Chris.
I'm out. This is
Is yours
guys.
a
I'm out.
manual? Are you manual? Or auto?
He's
manual.
He's
Well,
Manuel.
it's a manual too. You can't get it to like run right. Well, I can't say not run right, but it won't launch right. Like the nannies are too. Like
It's
the best.
finicky. It's a little
And
finicky.
I think the last before he just put on a C8 intake manifold on it as well. He runs math E60. He's running the fuel system like at its limits because you get the direct. He's got the high pressure fuel pump and all that.
Right.
But like I think the best it's ran was like a 1180, 1170. But that's at our altitude as well. So we're at 4,200 foot. But like that car could be so much faster. It's just like there's so much going on. Like he's trying to get everything just right. But that C8 intake manifold, he spent like 4 days sanding this thing, like just trying to get it so it would like fit right.
Like brand new,
Like the new.
Brand new
engine
Corvette. Yeah. They fit because it's an LT2 motor. It's just on.
Yeah, it's everything bolts
Corvette's
up, but I just-
backwards, I think. And then with the high pressure fuel pump, he had to get risers for the intake because it sat too low. So you had to get like custom risers made to have the intake sit up a little bit higher so it wouldn't rub that high pressure fuel pump
Oh, wow.
line back
See,
there.
This is the shit that like
This
like, when you're
motivates
chasing-
me.
when you're chasing power and you're chasing power on like relatively newer platforms that like there's still a lot of unknowns in LT engines. Even now there's still a lot of unknowns. They've only been out for 4 or 5 years, right?
Mhm.
Like we're like, other than Kyle, most of us are like canyon boys, so it's mostly just chasing suspension setup, right? It's just chasing. It's you're trying to become a better wheelman, right? Obviously, you want your rev matches down, you want to get your heel toes down, all that kind of fun shit. Trail braking, left foot braking, right? But then it's like put the right tires on it, get a good suspension setup and alignment. You're pretty much fucking golden, and then you're just kind of bolting on power as your skill needs it. If you're just trying to go dumbass fast in a straight line, whether it be from a dig or on a roll, like it's a whole other. Like I had this
It's a
conversation.
different mindset.
I had a conversation with Jamal, who does. He's my boy, and he does like the drift companion and stuff with me, right? I had a conversation on pod with him, and he grew up street racing in LA, right? Crenshaw, Inglewood, all that kind of shit. And
Inglewood.
yep,
Inglewood.
he still really gets off on drag car, like full on fucking drag cars, right? And my whole thing is like I hate drag cars because all ugly. Like that's just I don't know. It's like I've never seen a set of weld wheels that I like, and like I'm like it's cool, but like those wheels are ugly. They look like wagon wheels. And like so I just can't, I can't fucking get into them. Like I like the way it said it. Like I like the way like Fat said it. Like streets looks with the bead lock and all that shit. And you get to the center, and I just hate everything about it.
Yeah.
It's just us. But a lot of these dudes, like, I mean, suspension setup is just as big of a thing in a drag car as in any other outfit, right? Because
that's the thing. A lot of the beginning drag racers don't realize that. They're just like power. Like,
right.
Dude, your car squats like you're losing your whole 60-foot right there because your suspension's just ass.
Aren't you telling
they don't really know
that's
camber and toe still matters and this
But
and that.
that's
A lot
how
of people
I
I'm like,
approached the Subaru when I started building the Subaru. I mean, I literally went for suspension first versus power because I knew that if I didn't have the suspension to put the power down, like it makes no sense to have 400 horsepower. If you have 400 horsepower on bullshit suspension, then like he said, there's your first 60 feet right there, right? You're already losing the fucking race.
You know, the funniest thing about that with Subarus specifically is like, if you were gonna drive that bitch in the dirt, you could probably just throw 400 horsepower at it and leave it alone.
Yep.
And let it rest.
Because you'd be halfway sideways half the time. Just throw a decent set of like MTs on it and fucking chill. But like, if you want to drive it on the street, it's like, well, it rolls a little and like fucking does some fucky shit. And, you know what I mean? Like they're set up to go out. They're set up to go in the dirt.
And I got grippy tires. I mean that shit. Well, I mean, you've never really driven it, but I'll let you drive. I mean that shit like in a corner, like you're.
It pulls.
If it's anything like faster than that, like
if it's anything like mine with Michelin's, it's fucking. And that's the other thing too, right? Like, so this is something that I'm completely fucking ignorant about because I don't drag race. Is like I understand there's like you got radials, you got full on slicks, and I understand to some degree bias splice. I understand to some degree the fucking difference, but like doesn't fucking right. Like I'm like either I'm running like a Michelin tire, or I'm gonna go get like a Nankang and go to a track, right? But which is just a super grippy, really cheap throwaway tire, right? Which apparently a lot of the like all my boys back home that do track days, they're all running Nankang. They're like, that's just the shit because you get 10 laps out of them and you fucking throw them in the gutter and go get another set. It's all good. It costs you like
they're cheap.
Right?
Yeah, they're cheap.
They're fucking cheap as fuck, but they're grippy as shit. And it doesn't take a long time to heat them up. And they don't like fade away as much. Apparently, they don't fade away as much as they just completely give out at one point. So you have every possible amount of grip until you have nothing. Which I guess I'd also rather have than a tire that kind of gets steadily shittier over time.
Yeah, it's like
it's just like, oh, we're done. Okay.
Oh, I'm at that point. Okay, good. No set.
Hopefully you don't, hopefully you don't figure that out flat out fourth gear mid corner. But
rough.
So like, do you switch? Like, if you're doing autocross, you catch a grud race the other night. Are you swapping tires? Do you have a different set of wheels? Or are you just rolling on the same shit all the time? Does it even matter because they're all-wheel drive?
No, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if I got to like real high horsepower, it'd probably matter more. Like if I was an auto car and I really wanted to get like every little bit out of it, I would get like a specific tire that would, what's it called? When the tire.
Oh, when it creases, when it kind of falls on itself.
Yeah, it like grabs.
Wrinkle
tires. For me, it's like I got like a semi-harder kind of sidewall, and I just let it rip. I used to have a daily set of wheels and then my race wheels because I wanted to make the sticky tires last, and I got so tired of switching wheels out. All the time. So I sold them. Yeah, I sold those wheels. Yeah. I do want to get another set and get like some legitimate slicks because now with me basically being all out with the car and autocross, my class allows slicks.
Ooh.
And I never raced on slicks before, so I don't really know. But we'll see.
So what do you run right now?
Slicks are a whole different story, man.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if I really would want to go down that road, but I run Bridgestone RE71R.
Okay.
Ryan's car, the 98, the 2.5. Yeah, he had Hoosiers at one point. A customer came in and gave up his Hoosiers, and Ryan snagged them, and they were like 285s or 295s all the way around
Holy
on that
shit.
car.
Jesus H fucking Christ.
Hoosiers.
That's so much meat.
Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's a track
Like,
setup. That's a full on fucking.
And we'll probably eventually talk Ryan into coming on the show, hopefully, because I love Ryan. He's my boy. He's my brother. Always will be.
You say it's a 2.5 RS?
Uh-huh.
That's got 500 horsepower.
I'll
It's
find
beast.
it.
He'll find it. Literally,
Gordon,
Ryan
right?
can drive the wheels out of fucking anything, and I'm no slouch, especially in my STI. Ryan was gone. Ryan literally with slicks, it was a whole different ball game, and the car, the car was gone. There's my old white one. I saw that. Oh,
I
there
don't
she
know what I
is.
just did.
Oh,
I hit a button.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, nice.
that's my old white one.
So this is his
But
2.5
that's his 2.5, and the 2.5 has a literally. I think technically, if I remember the build correctly, I think it's bored to 2.7. Big turbo.
Dang.
I mean, the thing is a monster. And literally, when he put Hoosiers on that car, you could control all of that power. With the way it is now, where he doesn't have Hoosiers, that car's scary. There's no safety nets. There's no, in like Porsche world, there's no system managements. There's no nothing. It's
that's all
you
mechanical,
in the
right?
car. That car is raw as all hell. Like it's
That's that old
scary.
dumb Japanese shit. I fucking love that
Dude,
shit.
like,
Well,
and
yeah,
like
no
I've
track
been in that
control.
car, fourth gear, and he stabs it. And you wait for that boost that comes in, it spins all four wheels. I'm not even kidding you. You
fucking
like
with
80
shit.
miles an hour, fourth gear, and he stabs it on E85. It will spin all four wheels.
He like doesn't ever drive it anymore, right? He just shit out of him, or like scares the shit out of him.
I mean, rightfully so.
It's sketchy.
I mean, with anybody, I mean, like when you have a mishap, and even his mishap was super, super, super minor. But like when you lose confidence in that car and the confidence of the ability and where the pendulum swings, right, to where it's like, I got it. Oh, fuck, it broke, and you lose that. Like that's hard to get back to.
I mean, we've talked about this previously on the podcast, like when I crashed and shit like that. Like it is a huge fucking gut check. It's a huge confidence crack. Like you really kind of reapproach. I don't know if you've ever crashed, Bryce, or anything like that, but
I've been very close to going like 70 mile an hour into a wall.
So you get it. Like you kind of rethink some shit. You're like, hey, B, that's probably where you figured out, hey, use my fucking brakes, right? Like fucking.
It was extreme understeer, dude. My tires caught grip at the last second, and it was bad.
You take a minute. You gotta like get out of the car. You gotta like put yourself down for a second.
You gotta woosah some shit, right? You gotta like.
Well, you
change your pants, you know.
I honestly think back to some of the almosts that I had, and I think the feeling walking away from the almost was almost worse than walking away from the crash I did have. But once I realized the crash was cool, you know what I mean? But like. Yeah, there's just like, I don't know, especially like I grew up running canyons with no guardrails and shit like that, right? So like an almost is like a fucking almost, you know what I mean? Like, there was one time.
Big almost.
This shit's super funny, and I don't know why. Like at the time, I never thought about it, but like 2 weeks before I actually crashed on the same road, I'm going up and it's a right-hand turn, and it's like a hairpin, and I go in too deep, and I have to slam the brakes and like kind of kick it sideways a little bit. And I stopped and I look out my fucking side window and it's just like this much dirt and then the edge of the mountain. But all my homies were coming up fast as fuck. So I didn't really have time to think about it, right? I just had to like throw it back in gear and get the fuck out of the way because one of them was going to hit me. It was a narrow ass road, right?
Right.
So because of that, like I didn't really think anything of it. And then after I crashed, I've thought about that fucking moment like so many times. Like, you fucking idiot. You almost did it 2 weekends before that. Like way fucking worse, and you didn't even think anything of it, and you keep pushing, right? So it's just fucking one of those things, man. Like getting into doing this shit, and like, you know, some especially like you're like us, you're just figuring shit out as you go. You build the car when it breaks, right? You don't really know when you're gonna stop.
Nope.
You also don't always know what you're getting yourself into, right? Like you don't always fucking.
I sure don't. A lot going on.
So we've talked about the car and all that shit as before, but we're getting to the end of the show. For if you're trying to like explain kind of where you're at on the YouTube channel right now, what is currently going on with the Golf Art? Like, what are you currently in the process?
I'm waiting on a tool to get here, and then I'm ripping the head off this weekend. So that's like the next big thing. I had suspension, my trailing arms. I got these really super dope trailing arms that are adjustable at 2 different points that prevent. So on launch, it prevents the back end from squatting, and then on hard braking, it prevents the car from lifting. So it's like this super dope piece. It like just came out, just dropped. So like I got those in, and then I'm waiting on the carbon hatch to get in.
Who sells
I
that?
still gotta like do some Kirky seat stuff, but really I'm
Okay, wow, are you going Kirky seat?
Urban.
You're going full on Kirky seat?
I had to sell
yeah.
my seats. My seats are worth like $1,000, and I had to sell them to fund the build. Like I have to sell off a bunch of shit to. I'm literally selling my house. Like today, I got a final offer on my house to sell, so I can fund this damn car. So
you sold the house to build the race car.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And don't ever
Hell yeah, brother. More than.
And listen, if anybody ever gives you shit about that, you tell them this: you can sleep in a car, you can't race a house.
Exactly. You can't race a house.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Ain't no damn house gonna keep me from like crazy depression either. Like racing just isn't just for fun. It like keeps me alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's always you always got something to work forward to, and I think that's something. You know, whether it's a struggle and sometimes you hate it, but like once you get past that point, you know, that stuck bolt or that, you know, you nailing that corner just right at this course or, you know, whatever it may be, you always got something to keep pushing at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of little highs, right? It's a bunch of little highs. Yeah. And then when you, and I think we probably all had that moment, like when, and this is, I'm going to get a little sentimental right now, but when you're in the car that you've put a bunch of work into, and it's the road that you know, and the weather's perfect, and the road is perfect,
right?
and nobody's in your way, and you can fucking rip, and you have the fucking radio going, and you're just fucking and you're in that zone where you can do no wrong, and the car's an inch perfect every single time. Like, nothing beats that feeling. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
You feel like
0%.
you're fucking crushing everything and you're fast as fuck. And it's like, it's like you, and every time you don't go out and do that, you're chasing that. Then you go home and you, what did I do wrong? Set up wrong? What is this constant thing? And like, I think that a lot of people who aren't car people, for sure, because a lot of us are probably like the obnoxious neighbor, right? Like I'm the loud car when I fire it up at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And fucking piss everybody off. But it's like, you don't understand how sometimes, like, if I have a part that's just sitting on my toolbox that I've just been like procrastinating putting in, and then I have a fucking super shitty week, it's like that fucking shit's going on Friday afternoon. Like I'm gonna put that bitch in the air, and I'm gonna throw music on in the garage, and I'm gonna drink some beers, and I'm gonna rent some of my shit. And it's like,
fucking beer.
Exactly, and nobody can make me mad anymore. Like I might throw a wrench, but I'm still in a better mood than I was from fucking before that, you know. And that's like the cathartic fuck. I've been drinking and I lost all my words. Like you know, it's like therapeutic. It's like
that's the goal,
therapeutic
right?
part.
That's the entire goal. Like you look at like all these movies and they pay homage to guys who like are building cars. Like the very first Fast and the Furious, like the whole movie was about building your car, and Toretto finally turned that wrench.
That movie's about family. Okay, that movie is about.
Shut up. But no, but like he finished a project and like you got to take it out for your first spin, and you're like, yeah, hell yeah. And like it's better than I envisioned. Like, right? It's better than what you thought it was going to be. And every car guy chases that high.
I think I have this like really deep like my STI was a 19, right? There was like every time I work on it, like there's never a bolt that doesn't want to come undone. Right? Nothing's rusty, nothing's shitty. Everything comes apart and goes back together, and it's fucking fine, and everything, you know, and everything works. Then it's like I want to get something old and Japanese, and I want to strip it the fuck out, and I want to build like I want a drift missile that I can beat the shit out of, right? But that's like a $6,000, $7,000, maybe $10,000 car, and you can just drift the shit out of it for probably 3 seasons and never worry about it. Never fix a body pan.
Right, yeah, just let it lay down the law.
Yeah, I'm going out there. I'm trying to get better, right? And I'm never gonna get better if I'm worried about breaking something. So
Right,
fuck
true
it,
that.
shred it, right? But like I've always wanted to like tear something down and build something up and have like a super fucking clean, like down to bare metal, media blast it, redo the interior, put carpet in it with like sick ass fucking engine package, super clean, done from like tits up, right? But I want to do that because like I get this weird fucking sense of accomplishment. It's just satisfying as you just watch it kind of come together, right? Just
And you got
yeah.
so many different
Wait.
like sections to be accomplished for too. You got motor, you got drivetrain, you got interior, you got
my wiring's
your
fucking
whole
sick. Look at my
cockpit,
mil spec
the
harness. Look at it.
wiring,
Look at all the fucking, like, you know,
Yeah.
nobody gives a fuck about that
Bro,
in the car.
Yeah.
I thought of you the other day while looking at Japanese cars. Like,
Dude, they just
like
speak to me,
this
dude.
was you. This is your build. This is what Alex is running in the canyons in LA. I need you to go to Top Rank's website.
Fuck, it's an S13. I already know it. Oh, no, it's in Florida car, right? Yeah. Yeah, top rank.
Top Rank.
The fact
And
that I know what
Go
the fucking...
to sold inventory
Oh, you're gonna make it even worse. Okay.
because it literally yesterday this was not sold.
Oh,
Right there.
Oh,
this one?
Yep.
Dude.
See, that's
I got it pulled up
exactly
on my
what I
screen right
want.
now. I thought of
Yeah.
you when I saw this, and I was like, "This is Alex's car right here."
It's not loading any photos because there it goes.
Dang.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh,
there it is.
there we go.
So I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm like, I thought of you. And I was like, "This is Alex's car. Like, this is Alex on a Friday night, heading up the side of a mountain with that big ass fucking e-brake right here, just
Yeah,
and going through the corner."
Dude, I want an
This is Alex.
S15 so
This is
bad.
Alex right here.
Like,
that
you
is
don't
gorgeous.
This is Alex.
even.
How
I
much
saw
did
what
this
it was for
run?
sale for too, by the way, and it really wasn't that bad.
They go for
How
like
much?
18, 19 grand.
It
They're
was
not
less
even
than
that
Really?
expensive.
It was less
No,
than
they're
that.
they're
It was-
not that expensive.
It was
They're
like
not.
15.
So wait, if I don't need them to do that
Wow.
California bullshit, it'd be cheaper, or is that
Oh,
still
yeah.
on top
No,
of that price?
no. You buy it for that price. They add.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Bryce,
like,
I fucking swear to God, if I find out you bought seen it the next 2 weeks,
Tell you what,
Bryce,
No.
get
come
my IG.
springtime, this next
Get my
deployment,
IG.
I'm
I
getting
got
another
a
car.
lead on one for you. I'm just saying because Alex.
fuck
is gonna
off,
do it.
Mike. Fuck off, Mike.
I love you.
No,
Alex.
no.
But I thought of you. I thought I was like, I looked at
Yeah.
the car. I was like, dude, this is Alex. This is Alex right here. Like, this is
whoa.
I need to not get
I
on that
want one
website.
so
or
bad.
the 87 Corolla, or the
Alex, go
87
to the
Corolla.
Evo.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Oh.
Is
my
it a
God,
real
that
Evo?
is so
Oh, you talking about
I know
Dustin's
it
car?
is.
Oh,
That is Dustin
mean.
Williams' car.
That's Dustin
That's
Williams' car.
so mean.
Is
Yeah.
it really? He sold
Yeah,
it?
Dustin. Yeah, he did.
He sold it.
Why'd he get rid of
Disgusting.
it?
Because he has an R32, an R33, and
Disgusting.
R34
Look at this thing.
as well. R32. He's got all three.
Dang.
He's got that Datsun he's building. He's still got the other 35.
This back seat throws my fucking OCD off in a really bad way. The fact that you
Yeah.
can see wood.
Is that
like, just
wood?
put.
Why is the
Yes.
seatbelt there still? And the seat?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
you see?
I mean,
Okay, so
so
I'm not
this-
alone, right? Like, clean that
No.
shit up.
If,
Yeah, get that out
if
of
you
there.
go watch his YouTube video, he literally has a video that's like 12 minutes long, and you show him building this car, right? And
The
from
dump?
where the car
The hood
came
dump?
from
Yeah.
to where it's at is insane.
Yeah, I remember when he
GTEs.
got it.
Yeah, this car is like, I get your OCD because like I looked at the car and I did the same thing you did. I'm like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Like,
No, honestly, if I'm being real,
But-
the only thing that bothers me is that back. I'm pretty on board with everything else.
I don't like the
pretty
wood.
cool.
I don't like.
Get rid of the wood,
I don't know
wise
why
guys
there's
clean
wood.
up, clean up your harness.
That's not what I heard.
Oh.
Good.
But like that car is really clean as fuck. And
Yeah.
it's fast. Like,
there's an era of Japanese cars that are like, they're just the shit, dude. Like they're and there's different ones like the mid '70s, like the Celicas and the Canmarys and like all that kinds of shit. Like those things are fucking sick. And then the '80s were kind of a fucking. You had the '80s. There was Celica Supras and all that kinds of shit, and then they really hit their stride again in the '90s, right? 3 Mark Supras. You have the JZX 100s. You have the S13s and the fucking S14s and all
Oh,
that
yeah, the
shit.
JZX.
See, this guy gets
Yeah.
it. Another man of class who appreciates the finer things of art. Fuck yeah, dude. Dude,
My
big
man.
bodies with straight sixes. Come on, can't go
My
wrong.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have those like and I think it's like I'm sure there's dudes that of course there's guys that feel that way about like American cars and shit, like it's the 60s and
Yeah.
70s, same type of thing. But I feel like there's way more shit to fuck with on an old Japanese car than there is.
Yeah, there's all types of neat things. I feel like way more like
the rare
tinker,
parts.
like like.
I feel like
I don't know the
American
word.
Muscle, you have to deal with more bullshit than you do on a Japanese car, right? You get to do all the fun shit
He's
of
all
a
like-
Japanese car. That's true. Like,
He's
listen, kid, let's be honest. Let's be honest about the El Mino. Luckily it's been in California, but like most of the rest of the world, you're gonna have
The
rust
rest of the
problems,
shit,
you're gonna have
yeah.
body problems, you're gonna have the frame problems, you're gonna have all these issues. And for the most part, for our generation, because the cars really aren't that old yet, let's be honest about it, and the coating back in the 90s versus 60s, 70s, and 80s was way better.
What coating? The 60s, 70s is what coating? What
Yeah,
coating?
exactly,
Yeah,
right? Like,
we
there was
sprayed
no
the bottom
coating.
with WD-40 before we put out of the
90s
fucking
figured that
factory.
shit out and they coated the fuck out of it and never goes
Yeah.
away. Like,
That's
and
best.
that's the thing is like you could go buy like I'm gonna buy R33 and I can get it here and I don't really have to do anything maintenance wise on the car, right? Like it's already been done.
Well,
for me.
yeah.
But like even like body work, right? Like if I'm gonna go find it a 60s, 70s, 80s muscle car,
Oh
whether
yeah.
you're gonna pay $100,000 for it, and
It's
there's
like
no
it's
body
really-
work, it's running, it's driving, it's this, and that, or you're gonna go find a barnyard find that's gonna cost you 40 grand, and literally you gotta cut the entire bottom end of it out of the car. There's no motor, there's no this, there's no that, and you source all of it. There's way less work on our generation, at least for me, muscle cars, which were Japanese cars, right? In
Isn't
the
that
90s,
subjective,
that
bro?
was
Wait,
What?
in what way? In what way? I want to hear this.
Isn't that subjective in the sense of like you just mentioned like cars that grow up on the East Coast, like you're gonna have rust. Isn't that subjective for like you have that's kind of like a rainbow statement, like that happens to every car.
No,
Like
no. The main reason is that so East Coast cars, you have there's more salt in the air from humidity, right? Period.
Right.
Well,
Two,
yeah, and they salt the fuck out of the roads.
That's the other thing is that in the winters they salt the roads. Same thing in the Midwest, right? They salt the roads in the winters so you have traction in the
pretty
snow.
much California,
Oregon,
Oregon,
Lower Oregon,
we know
Arizona.
Washington,
Arizona, New Mexico. One
Yeah,
other
New
good thing about
Texas, like
Very bad.
every other state salts the roads yearly.
Right. Well, like so,
My,
like
my
rust-
town can't even afford salt. They put like wood chips on the ground, like sawdust and, wood chips. And rocks. Yeah, and like tons of little pebbles, dude. It's terrible. I mean, it's better than salt, but you're gonna get rock chip like a motherfucker.
Fuck.
Right? No, but like, and again, kid, I mean, that also goes back to what I said, like age-wise, right? So you're dealing with cars that Alex said, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. The coating on the bottom of the cars, there really wasn't one. There was no cosmoline. There was no rust protection. There was no nothing. We're blessed because we live in California, and literally there's no humidity in the air. There's no snow on the ground. There's no nothing, right? So you don't have to worry about a whole lot of corrosion going on your El Camino. You go pretty much anywhere else in the world, and you do. And like
Yeah, sure.
like
sure.
guys got to go. Like you look at one of the examples, like one of these car guys, Gas Monkey Garage, right? They go find these barn finds. They go find this car in Minnesota. Yeah, it's got a great shell, but the entire floorboard is rusted out of the car, and they got to literally cut the thing out, weld a brand new panel on the bottom of it. That's so much more work that you have to do to a car to get it running again versus where like our generation, like a Skyline, right? Like I don't have to cut the floorboard out of the bottom of the Skyline because it's not that old. And the technology in the 90s, especially like when you get to like 94, 95, 96, like they really started to figure that stuff out. I don't have to do that.
Listen, this is like a super fucking hot take. Old American cars are glorified tractors, right? They just fucking are.
They are.
They are.
Really rudimentary
They are.
suspension.
Like,
They run
at the end of the day,
steering
yes.
boxes. They run fucking steering boxes, right?
Yes.
Think about that shit for a second. the point is that if you want a 67, you're gonna pay 60 grand for a shitty one. If it runs, right? So it's the real Halo cards, like fucking Kudas, you can't get one. It's like unless you want to drop 6. Chargers are the same way. So now you're into B-body cars, so you're into Dodge Darts, Plymouth Dusters, all that kinds of shit. Chevy Novas are even getting up there. They're a lot smaller. They're cool cars, but still, like, you can throw a $30,000 Roadster Shop chassis under one of those cars and do all the crazy shit in the world, and Kyle's GTI will still beat it in the corner because it's a body-on-frame car. It's not a unibody. It has limitations. You're never gonna make it like a new car. You can make it the best possible example of a 69 that you could ever make, and like this is from a guy who loves fucking Novas. I love those things, but it has a limit. When you get to these cars in the 90s, especially when you're talking about like Skylines, there's a reason why people still want Skylines, because it's still 25 years later a platform that's super ahead of its time when it was new. With you got dudes like Ryan Litter makes 900 horsepower out of an R6 and has been running the same engine pack on it, beating the shit out of it for I think 3 years without cracking the engine open.
Yeah,
banging on limiter, making 900 horsepower. You've replaced injectors and shit like that, but I don't think he's had that engine apart in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It's the same thing with dude. You get an S13 and put an LS in it. It's literally the best car you could. The chassis dynamics are perfect. The cars are super neutral. It's got all the power in the world. It's got a super linear torque curve. Like things tits. There's just there's a thing. It's the same way like when you look at like Porsches, right? Like everybody, like when I was a kid, I used to hate Porsches because people, but at the same time, it's like you get to that point in your life where it's like, dude, they're the shit. You know what I mean? Like if you could afford one, you'd fucking buy a 911. Like everybody would fucking buy a 911. 100%. Because they're fucking gangster.
I have a friend here. He has a 1,000 horsepower C8. He has a 1,000 horsepower. I think it's a 7-liter and a Fox, or not a Fox, but SM95. He has a twin turbo or twin mounted turbo kit on a C6, and he daily drives a 911.
Yeah, and he probably has the most fun in the 911
Dude's a nut job.
Yeah, all the other shit's cool. All the other shit's loud. All the other shit better noises.
But he drives the 911.
The 911 is the best. It's because it's just the best car. Like just not the best drag car, not the best drift car. It's just the best. Just the shit.
Yeah, he said he fucking loves that thing. He's like, I dump all this money into these, and I'd rather drive my Porsche anyway.
Yeah, dude, I would like, and I don't even want like a turbo. I want a Carrera T. Like I just want a fucking sick Carrera T, and like
that's
which is still 140, still 140 grand, right? Fuck, but like,
no, they're like 109.
No, whereabouts in Mexico are you?
MSRP is 109.
I'm like right near Amarillo, Texas, or Lubbock, Texas. You guys watch football, college football?
Oh yeah.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Right by Texas Tech.
That's sick. All right, I'm moving out to New Mexico, boys.
Come join me.
I'll be number 3.
There's plenty of racing to do out here, dude. And we have the flattest roads. Dude, we have so many. We just had like a mini cash days the other day. Not a cop in sight. Dude, road for miles. I mean, you could probably see like 7 miles down the road any direction. Dude, it's just like flat. I don't have like any turns at all. Like no corners at all anywhere. Like it's all flat. All flat. It's like a haven for street racing out here. And
so what do you do? Like, what do you do when you want to hit a one? Do you go to a racetrack?
I go to autocross. Yeah, on the way because I work on base. It's like an off ramp, the only off ramp within probably 110 miles, and it's a decent like 270 degree turn going up because you go on the ramp. And then
so you got like a NASCAR turn in town. That's
one.
Damn.
Seriously, it's sad. It's terribly sad.
Hey, that's the thing that I like about places like Arizona is they still have like Arizona actually has a lot of windy roads. Like you just have to fucking desert to get to them, and Nevada's kind of the same way. Shit, like you have those roads, but there's no smog. There's a bunch of flat, straight shit. Like 395 is super flat, straight through Nevada. Obviously, 10 runs through fucking Arizona, and that's just fucking straight as shit.
I had a lot of fun going through Flagstaff on the way to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That was a ball. I was like, holy
shit. Like,
is
it 38 or something like that? I can't remember the name of the road. The number of the road
I have no idea. All I know, I was told, I was like, there's mad cops. use your radar, and have fun. And I was like, all right.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, is that a podcast, boys? I feel like that might be a podcast, boys.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
pushing.
Yeah.
Podcast.
How long
boys.
have we been going for? Where's the timer?
We've
We're
been
almost
going
2
for
hours, bro.
Yeah,
Started like
yeah.
6:40.
This is about
Yeah.
2
Holy
hours.
shit, yeah.
Yeah, so we've
Yeah,
been going. We've been going. All right, so this is part of the show where we do our socials. Bryce, I want you to go first. Go ahead and plug your Instagram, plug your YouTube, plug whatever you need to plug. I will also put it in the description of both the audio podcast and the YouTube video when I post this on, so everybody can click your stuff and go check you
Right
out.
on.
But let them know what it is, please.
Everything is, except for my YouTube, is BR32YCE. So it's Bryce, but R32. Makes sense. My golf R32, so I based everything off that.
It's clever.
And then my
God damn it,
YouTube
that's
is
clever.
just Bryce Jordan Productions. If you just type in Bryce Jordan in YouTube, I'll be the first one to pop up. So
Fuck yeah. And Bryce has got a lot of cool like real ass ground level dude building his race car in his content. A lot
Yes,
of
he does.
Oh yeah.
a lot of cool
Solid.
like there was a lot of cool like little like you rolled that cash days and you lost that whatever and you're like my homie bet on me and he made his money back and he paid for me to run this cash day. There's a lot of cool like genuine fucking car dude moments in your content, which is sick. So you guys should seriously go check that out. It's we need more of that stuff. We need more of that stuff in the community as a whole. We as much as we love our throttles and donuts and fucking all this shit, we need more ground level shit of just regular dudes building their shit and everybody supporting each other, helping each other come up.
I know.
Who wants to go next? We lost Mike, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Tim A. 3Ys916.
He got his car stock. Check him out.
This
My
guy's
car's
stock, check him out.
It's great.
Did you say Tim A 906?
916. Yeah.
916.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at nightwithnok.sti. And then obviously check us out. All the Rev Match shit. Kyle, because you're to my right.
Yeah. It's DYSFNL_MK7 on Instagram. So it's where I post all my crap.
Yee. Get it in.
Cupcake. Cupcake. Cup and then CVKE_. Bryce, I'd like to shoot your car one of these days.
Wow, I do. I'm down. I'm always down to run.
Yeah, I'd love to shoot your car one of these days.
So yeah,
Like,
Chris takes all of our photos. He takes all the. So
Oh,
all the photos
shoot!
see on
I thought
the
you said race. I'm
No.
down too.
No.
Dude, I want to see that race. I want to see
I don't
that
want-
race.
Yeah.
I don't want the smoke.
Oh yeah,
Run,
Don't worry.
kid, run!
he might just Mustang into you anyway.
Yeah.
Priors. It's all
Wow.
He's got better
Wow.
driver skills.
good. Wow.
I
What?
said he's got better driver skills.
Yikes.
Come on.
Thanks,
Wow.
baby.
We're
Thanks,
just,
baby.
Mike, we already did the socials for Bryce, so go ahead and hit him with yours, please. Now that you're back.
My socials Red Wheeled STI at IG. Follow me. Appreciate you. Like me. Share
So
me.
is that going to remain the same
I love
when you get the R33?
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's a whole other
Oh.
episode.
Yeah,
Red-
I gotta
Red
have to
Wheel
change it up.
Skyline.
It could be like R33 STI.
Wow.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Solid.
gotta,
Good ball. Good ball.
I gotta get creative
Good
about it.
Yeah. Also, so thank you for listening to the Rev Podcast, the automotive fucking regular ass dudes. Please like, follow, subscribe. If you're listening to us, please follow the podcast to get
Share.
those notifications. Yes, share us.
Share.
Yeah.
We will be doing obviously more content, more podcast content. We're gonna do some content around Mike's GTR. We do have another drift companion coming up for the final round of this season out of Irwindale in a couple of weeks. That should definitely be something fucking crazy. Usually, final round in Formula Drift it's a fucking dogfight. Those dudes are all trying to vie for points. It seems like it's going to be a tight race this season, so it's definitely going to be a lot of one more times, a lot of beer chugging, a lot of
I'm gonna
crashes.
try to be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be there for that. I'm gonna try to
If
be
you
there.
want to join, yeah, dude, the more the merrier. Jamal and I, it was fun for the two of us, but especially because I know a lot of you guys don't follow drifting.
I don't know shit. I ain't lying
Right.
about that shit.
That means there's a lot of good questions and a lot of fucking good questions to answer that make it for your content. Anyway, guys, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. And as always, rev the shit out of that shit. And take care. Peace out.
Deuces.
Bye.